Hey up, troops. Hey, Littleton here again, and this time we're gonna... What the hell is that? That's oppressive. This time we're gonna be looking at Fenrir. Let's not beat around the bush. Fenrir is top 5 at the minute, probably higher than that. Is like being in that effect, being in that FNAT is absolutely horrible as an attacker. If you don't shoot it quick enough, you're gonna die. Someone's gonna swing you. It's absolutely horrible. I actually don't feel like the FNAT effects end fast enough if you shoot the FNAT. I feel like it should end immediately, but instead it takes a little while to dissipate. That's a conversation for another day though. But today we're gonna go through the top 5 setups that I like using when I'm playing Fenrir. So just before we decide that we've had enough waffling, I want to give a big shout out to Simon, who went out of his way today to email me saying, why don't you make a Fenrir video? We haven't seen many Fenrir videos about. Well, Simon, thank you for taking the time to email me. I'm going to make a Fenrir video. We're in it right now. Nice one. I appreciate you getting in touch. He's also from Norway, so tack. Other than that, that actually is enough waffling. Now let's just get stuck into it. So let's get started with looking at the Coastline hookah setup then. But before we look at the setups, we just need to talk about placements very quickly. And in terms of what you want to try and achieve when you're putting a Fenrir FNAT down. So what you'll find a lot of people doing is putting an FNAT there. And let's pretend that's active. And we're an attacker and we walk in. The first place that we're going to look is either here or around the door frame for the FNAT. And yes, it's going to be effective. Yes, it's going to give you the information that there's an enemy there. They're going to find it straight away and shoot it. Well, ideally, what you want to do really is they walk through the door. You cause them some problems by them looking around the door frame. They can't find it. They panic. And then they either go back out and you still have control of this area, or they're in the FNAT trying to find where it is. So placing it like there or there or there is not a good place in my opinion. What you want to try and do is place it in areas where it's just not so obvious. Sometimes you don't have an option. Sometimes you've only got a doorway and that's that. But using this as an example, here is a much better example and what is a much better idea. And why that is because you'll walk in. Bear in mind, the FNAT only goes off when he gets line of sight of the enemy. So it's going to go off at this point here, right? However, the enemy will not realize the distance between the door and the fly case. As soon as it goes off when they're here, I guarantee that every single player turns around. Bear in mind, when they turn around, they're not looking at the floor either, so they're not going to see it there. But they'll turn around, they'll look at this door frame, and they'll try and find it, and they won't be able to see it, and they'll go back out. I can't guarantee it's going to work every time, but you're going to keep this hidden a lot better than if you put it there or there. You just want to try and make it less obvious about where the FNAT is. Everybody looks at the door frames or around the top of stairs. We just need to try and get a little bit more creative with where we place them. Just remember as well that Fenrir has the bailiff, so you can go up to walls like this, for example, and you can get rid of like half the skin. All you've got to do is shoot it on a bit of an angle, and it's only going to destroy this side of the wall and not that side of the wall. And if you put a Fenrir there or a Fenrir here, by the way, you won't actually do this in game. This is just an example. But if you're walking this way, ignore this one for now. We're just looking at this one. If you're walking this way, you don't see it at all until it's too late. And if you're walking this way again, you don't see it at all until it's too late. So you can get creative using the bailiff. Again, we just want to make it less obvious about where they are. We just want them to be a little bit more effective. Okay, so starting with hookah then, and the first place we're going to cover is the VIP door. We're going to cover VIP door, cool vibe stairs, hookah door, aqua door, and luggage. Now, it's up to you which of the 3 you activate. Obviously, you juggle them around depending where the push is coming from. So for VIP, you've got 2 options. You can either put it in these flowers here. Now, bear in mind, it will only go off when you get line of sight. And because of the way that it goes in the flowers, the rocks kind of hide it a little bit. It's not 100% accurate on that door, I don't find anyway. It's really well hidden, but I just don't think it's the best placement. Instead, come here, look at this little gap above the door and get it in this gap. Once you've got it in there, anyone that walks out when they look at the door to try and find the FNAT, Dreadmine? I keep forgetting what it's called, the FNAT. The Fenrir mine, we're going to call it. They're looking for the Fenrir. They're looking here, or they're looking at the top of the door. They're not looking right at the top there. It's a really, really good spot to keep it. And yeah, it catches a lot of people out. The next one we're going to do is over on luggage. And it's exactly what we spoke about at the start of the video. Put it on the flight case in front of the door. Not going to repeat myself. Well, I am going to repeat myself actually, but the reason being, by the time they get to here and it goes off, their initial instinct is to look around the door. They won't be looking at this flight case. The one on aqua I really like actually. What you want to do is melee this pillow. I think you can actually just throw the FNAT at the pillow and it'll disappear. Chuck it on the back of the chair. Again, a little bit further over maybe. Again, the same thing as... That's just gone to the same place. There we go. Same thing as luggage. When somebody comes into Aqua, they're looking on the... It'll go off by the time they get to here. Again, they won't be looking here. They might see it straight away. They might not. But they'll be looking around this area here to try and find it. Just gives it half a chance of surviving a little bit more. So we've got 3 down. The next one is going on Cool Vibes. And this works on any staircase. There's no way you can really hide it here on Cool Vibes apart from up there. And then it's out of range. You can try and get it behind the lamps. The only thing is when it's active. If I can just activate it. It is quite well hidden as you're sort of coming up here. You don't know it's there, but by the time you get here, you can see it a bit easier. So this works really well with Malusi Banshees, but not so much with the FNATs. This works with any staircase here. Put it as close to you can to here as you can. Reason being, let's activate it. Reason being is when you're coming up the stairs, but you don't see it there. And when you get to here as an attacker and you can see that there's no one on the platform with Cool Vibes, the first thing you do, your crosshair, is move up here to get ready for anyone to peek you from the top of the stairs. Especially on Cool Vibes where there's a rotate there, right? So by the time you're coming up and you get to there, you don't even see it and it goes off by the time you get to the top of the platform. You're not hanging around on Cool Vibes stairs to try and find that FNAT to destroy it. By the time you get here and it goes off, you'll go where? You'll first look here, like on the stairs where most people would put it. You're not going to be looking down here, but that works with every staircase. So put it on the platform, just to the left so you don't see it. And the final one we're going to do is Hookah. Unfortunately, there's not really any snazzy one that I've found to do around here. I tried to get it in behind these vases. Tried to get it in behind those, just like here. But you can't really get it there. It sort of bugs out a little bit because the space isn't big enough. So I throw it up on the... Make sure it's on the wood texture so it's a bit more hidden. It's not the best that. It's a bit poo. I know we've said try and disguise them as much as we can, but you don't have much of a choice when it comes to Hookah. I've tried like getting it underneath here. I've tried getting it like hidden on the ceiling here, so the line of sight will go off when it goes between these. But it's just not very consistent because as soon as an attacker walks in, it'll go off when it sees them here. But then when the attacker's here, it won't be on and it'll deactivate. And then when they get here, it'll go off and then it's just really like on, off, inconsistent. But there's 5 perfectly good FNAT locations on Coastline. And all you've got to do is pick the ones that you want on the most, as with every site. I would probably start with Aqua, Hookah, and Cool Vibes, and then have an idea of what's going on. Are they pushing from VIP? If so, and they're not pushing from Hookah, turn that off, turn this on. They are pushing from luggage, not Aqua door yet, so we can put that there. You just got to juggle them around. It's the beauty of Fenrir. Very few operators have the ability to place gadgets in places that they want to in the prep phase and then juggle them around. In fact, I can't really think of one that can do that. Like, imagine how strong Malusi would have been when she came out. If Malusi had 5 Banshees and she could choose which 3 she wanted on. Like, even now, she'd be unbelievable. And the Fenrir, the feeling of being in a Fenrir is much more oppressive for an attacker than being in a Malusi Banshee, in my opinion. So that's how strong he is. Just juggle them around, follow the push, use your cams, don't be afraid to get on cams. This is just a random tip. We're going to go off on topic like we do all the time. When you check the start of the round, first thing one person on your team should do is be on cams at the start of the round. And you can see generally on most default cams how many operators are spawning in that area. So let's just say, for example, we've got this default cam outside Aqua, and we've got this default cam outside Hookah. If both of these default cams get destroyed, but the one at the front of the building here doesn't, you know no one spawned here, and like you might see them run past and not shoot the default camera, but let's assume people do shoot defaults. If they run past here and don't shoot the default camera, you know that everyone spawned on this side and on this side of the map. Therefore, you don't need to put too much effort into worrying about VIP or penthouse or theater and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, keep on the cameras. This is a useful camera to see what's going on there, but you can tell straight away at the start of the round generally which side the push is coming from to start the round. Obviously, attackers change their mind halfway through rounds, but anyway, a random tip there. But yeah, that's how I tend to juggle the 5 different minds. Oregon top floor can only mean one thing: shoot the radio. So top floor on Oregon then. Let's get started in attic. This is a really, really good one. Look at the side of this barrel here. Come underneath this. If you throw it from here, you'll hit this like black frame. So come underneath, hit on the side of the barrel. As the attackers come down, obviously it's really well hidden until they get to here. It's really good that because it's not too far away. Like, it's not like you've got it on here. It's not going to go off until they get here. So you know that you can hold this and you can wait until you hear the activation, and you know that the line that they're on here. This is why Fenrir is so good. Like, it's not like barbed wire where they could be like further back and you don't really get the full idea of where they are. You know that's there. You know the attacker has to be like there for them to have activated that. What you can also do is you can open the hatch open the hatch, and you know they can't be on the hatch as well. So as soon as you hear that FNAT activate, you know they can only be stood here to here. So you can pre-fire that so easily. It's literally a free kill every single time. I'd never say that because nothing's ever a free kill. Right, the next one is if you are holding trophy or if you're holding attic looking at master. So if you're either here holding this door or if you're over here holding this door, this one's really good. It goes, we're doing a bit of makeover with the furniture. Top one, shoot out that drawer, shoot out that drawer. Get it in the drawer there. Again, you're going to wait until the attacker gets here, and if you've got somebody in trophy, you hear the sound command, and there you go. Now, this one takes a little bit of time to get right, and the throw rarely works first time for me, but let's try our best. This, I don't know what this drawer set is made of, but it's like absolutely solid. Like, look at that. It's taken like 6 bailiff shots. There's got to be a better way of doing this. If you've got someone with like a better shotgun than the bailiff, then probably give them a shout and ask them to come and do it for you. Nearly there. It's mad how strong it is. Can I get it in there? No. Let's try again. Need a bit more gun. It takes an insane amount of time. Oh, that should be fine. No. What is that? Oh, come on. In you pop. Oh, I know he goes in. Come on. Ah. Bear with me, team. No pressure. This may be not the best without some practice. I mean, I tell you what, that works. But if you... I'm not sure what's happened there. I think it must be like bits of the drawer that aren't... It does go on the back wall. I know it does because I've literally just done it before I started recording this to practice. Obviously, as soon as I start recording, it's not working. And now I can't pick it back up. Oh, I can't pick up. Just saw the pickup command. Hello? Right, well, anyway. Get it in there. There's a bit of practice required to be done there. I'm not sure why that won't go there. I literally did it before I started recording this. And I got it in there. And now I can't, which is typical, really. That'll have to do for now. But again, that's pretty well hidden, right? As soon as you're there, it's going off. It's much better there than around there, or there. You could even... Can you get one in here? This, we're going off topic here, but let's just see if we can squeeze one in here. Is it any easier? I don't think I'll get one in there, given how thin the drawers are. So yeah, bit of practice there, but you can get it underneath. It might be even better than going on the back wall. The next one is, there's nothing special here. It's just underneath big window, right in the middle. You can't really do much with this. You can't really hide it anywhere. You can't get the FNAT on the floor. It always sticks to the rafters. You can't get it through the gap on the floor, unfortunately. Ubisoft knew people were going to try and do that. And the last one, I've only got one shot on the bailiff left. The last one, you've got 2 options. We want to cover white stairs here, right? You can either put it on the top of the white stairs like this, or you can put it under the bed at the top of white stairs. Now, what I recommend here is if you're playing here, this is a really strong place to play. Make sure you don't get grenaded from below. This is a really strong place to play. If I had any bailiff shots left, I'd open this. But let's just open this. From here, you can hold the breach, you can hold big window, and you can hold wide stairs. So from here, if you put the FNAT there, you can literally, a bit like we talked about in attic, you can wait until you hear that noise of the FNAT going off and just peek it straight away. Or if you're not playing white stairs and you're not playing here, put the FNAT here because you're going to get value from it. If no one's ready to swing, and this goes for a lot of utility in Siege, right? If no one's ready to swing the FNAT going off here, then what does the attacker have anything to worry about? They come on, oh, there's an FNAT there. Oh, that's gone. Okay, right, no problem. Let's move up now. You've got to be able to take advantage of the utility going off. So if no one's playing here and no one's going to take advantage of that, then put it here instead and have someone playing kids maybe. And once it goes off, you know they're coming through the white stairs door and then take advantage of it. The last thing you want to be doing is putting these in places where once they go off, you can't capitalize on it. I think that's a really solid setup. This one's a bit boring. The rest of them are really solid. If you don't want to put the one in the drawers here, like if no one's holding master, can I take that out? If no one's holding master, what you can do instead is you can put one in the light to cover the breach. Again, if you're not playing master, I'm sure you can get that like vertically as well. If you're not playing master, you don't want to be putting one in. There we go. If you're not playing master, you don't want to be getting putting this in the drawer because again, once they walk in, they'll just destroy it and you haven't taken advantage. Putting it on the breach there is going to be useful for when people walk in to try and get to the default plant there. Right then, downstairs on Clubhouse next, and this is one of my favourites to play Fenrir on. There's one in particular which is probably my favourite Fenrir of all time. So we're going to start in blue. There's not much you can do here in terms of destroying things to try and hide it. What I tend to do is just stick it up here on the wall there. Now, this can be seen a little bit from oil pit as you come down, but not particularly well. By the time you get down here, or by the time you come down blue, it's going to be going off. Obviously, from blue, you can't see it at all. There's not much you can do around this area about, like, hiding it. You can get it in this cabinet if you want to. The only problem with that is it sort of goes off a little bit late. Like, they're already all the way down blue before it goes off, but it does hide well in there. This is probably my favorite, and I don't know why, but I just think it looks funny. This side of the light, looking... I think the thing is, it even looks down at dirt. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's looking exactly where it needs to. So the guy comes out of dirt, and they look around. The Fenrir is going off. They're looking around here. Where is it? Where is it on the door? It's not, mate. It's up on the light. I don't know what it is, man. It just works for me. It just makes me laugh. That's probably my favorite one. The next one is for the hatch drop. And again, you don't have to be overly creative here. You can get it under these shelves. I like going for this one here. Can't be seen from the hatch. And as soon as they drop here, that's going to go off because of the line of sight. It's going to see their ankles. We've then got bottom main. You've got a couple of options bottom main. I don't like putting them around door frames, as I said before. What I would prefer to do is put it on this box here. Not like that at all. No. Oh, I'm not going to be able to pick that up, am I? That's really annoying. Sometimes it does this, you know, like it bugs out and you can't pick them back up. I can't destroy that either. What I'm going to say is, if you put... that's never happened to me before, by the way. I've put Fenrirs on this a million times. If you put them on the side of the box, not like that. I'm going to try it on this one instead. It kind of looks like that, but there. That's never happened to me before. Can I activate it and then destroy it? And then we'll try this one instead. But now I'm not going to be able to show you the first. Let's try again. That isn't quite what we're after. Again, not quite what we're after. It's not quite going flush. That's better. So, yes, it can be seen from there, but it's not something you're looking for. Do you know what I mean? It's not something you're going to be keeping your eyes peeled for. It can go a little bit further down, maybe. These things are so annoying to put down. There we go. That's probably a little bit better. So again, that's only going to go off by the time you're here. But if you're playing in Moto, if this hatch is open, you're not going to do this, obviously. But if you're playing in Moto, you know that as soon as that goes off, you're there. Now, as we keep talking about juggling these different FNATs around the place, if this hatch is open and you get forced out of Moto, you don't really want that on. Because you're not going to be able to benefit from the information that gives you. Yes, you know someone's bottom main, but you can't swing it because you're going to get domed from the hatch. And the fifth and final one, I'll have to use one that we've already placed, I'm afraid, because we had to destroy one, is down here in this cupboard. So this is going to be for Moto or for the hatch drop. You can either throw it on the roof of the cupboard or just throw it in the cupboard like that. So what I would do is I would fall back with the Fenrir. Like, I would have this one active. And then if I hear this hatch getting opened, I would come back to here. I would turn that one off, and I would turn this one on. And then now, as soon as the sound goes in Moto, we can swing it. They're either pushing in here, but you know they're going to be in line with this, right? They're not going to be here because it won't go off there. It'll only go off once they get a line of sight here. So you can sort of draw a line in your mind and think, well, that's where they are. You know, they're really close. Just got to think about where you place them. But there's 5 really good ones. That one, I'm going to go back over quickly and have a look at the light. I think it's the angle where it's looking down at dirt that just makes me laugh so much. Almost like a CCTV camera type thing, but... really good site. Like I said at the start of the video, Fenrir is excellent when you're defending a site where the push can come from multiple directions. Where Fenrir isn't so great is on this exact same map, but up here on CCTV, is where the push nearly always comes through the breach. Depending what elo you're playing. The push will nearly always come through that breach. And that isn't where Fenrir is best used. Shoot the radio, by the way. Yes, you can put like one here. You can put one at the top of red stairs. You can still make use of Fenrir almost everywhere, but he's definitely better used where he can be a bit more versatile and activate and deactivate traps depending on where the push comes from. Bottom floor on Chalet now, and this is another great example of a site where the push can come from like 4 directions. So it comes from this wall, it can come from wine door, it can come from main stairs, it can come from the main stairs and come from the breach, it can come from blue stairs. There's a ton of different directions. This is a spot that needs to be fixed by Ubisoft. Everyone knows about it now, but if you don't, this particular square of what appears to be insulation or something here, you can throw things into this and they disappear. It's like you can throw Elemines in here, you can throw Fenrir FNATs in there, and they just disappear, and they still work. So as soon as someone comes down the stairs out, they're still going to go off, but they can barely see it. Obviously the prongs stick out, but when it's not activated, can't see it at all. But you can put various other things in there that are completely invisible as well. Like I say, Elemines, for example. So that needs to be fixed, and if anyone at Ubisoft is watching this, please fix this. None of the other squares have the same problem. All the other squares work okay. Just that particular one. So that's the one you want for blue. Look, if it's there, take advantage of it. I'm not a fan of thinking it's a glitch. I don't think it's a glitch. I don't know. I mean, it's been known for like a year or two now. So if it is a glitch, then Ubisoft need to fix it. But it's that common now. Everyone knows about it. The next one is to cover the wine running. You shoot out the bottle on the left here, this one. Chuck it in the bottom of that cabinet. Again, it's the classic when people come through the door, they're going to be looking around the door to try and find it, but it's not. It's down here. This one's really sneaky. I actually saw this on a TikTok. I think it was Royal Penguin who was TikTok this was on. Shout out Royal Penguin. You can shoot out this cabinet and just chuck it in the... Not there. You need to shoot out a little bit more, Andy. I'm crap at destroying furniture in this game with a bailiff. Get rid of that, and now it'll go in there. A little bit further in. Let me get pro. Let me get down and close here. No, a bit further in, please. There we go. So now the tail's not sticking out. But what'll happen now is when the breach is opened here, which is... If they don't push the main breach, this is the next breach that they'll push. Once this is open, they'll try and come in and plant here, usually. They'll clear this back area and try and come in and plant here. But obviously, as soon as they get to here... Well, actually, as soon as they get to about here, this is going to go off. So really, really useful. Then we've got 2 more left. We're going to cover main stairs with a really obvious one. I prefer putting up high than down low. Here, your best options are here or here. I prefer it up high. When someone comes down here and it goes off, obviously the main concern is blue, connector, rotate, etc. The first thing they do, I think, is look like this. Like, I don't think you look up first. I think you look down first because you're on the stairs. Having it higher up will probably just give you half a second or so of more information. And the 5th one is up for debate. I always put it on the bin, but I know it's not hidden very well at all. And I know it's a bit crappy, and it's really obvious, and it's not like some of the ones we've just shown you are like pretty well hidden, like shooting out a bit of furniture you might not have thought about, whereas this is just pretty obvious, but it works really, really well. The amount of people that won't destroy that, obviously bear in mind, if they're going to try and get rid of the denial off the breach by using a grenade through the drone hole, this is going to get shot straight away. So what you can do, and remember this goes for every single Fenrir trap we've talked about so far, is not throw it on the snowmobile. That's a fat finger. What you can do is just keep it in your pocket until you hear the breaches being opened. And if you hear the breaches there's a thermite charge going off, there's an ace charge going off, then you can chuck it and retreat. It doesn't need to be down at the start of the round. If you're risking putting that there and thinking, oh, they might need the breach actually, I'll tell you what, why leave it there? Just take it off. And then if you need it down later on, you obviously don't do it once the breach is open because you're going to have to put your face in like a door. You don't want to be doing that here. You could do it from connector without being seen from the breach like that. But if you're playing like blue, if you hear the breach being open, like you want to dip here, your thermite charge is going off, get it down, get back. But yeah, don't just lose it for no reason. But I think that's a really solid setup. Especially this one on blue, you get early information there. You can play here. I like playing this area when I'm defending this side. You can cover pretty much everywhere from here. You can cover blue, you can cover main stairs, cover the breach. You can also cover the walk-in on wine. The only thing you can't see is the right-hand side of that breach. But this is like, if you like anchoring on site like I do, this is one of the strongest places to anchor, absolutely. But yeah, with Fenrir, quality spots. So the last site we're going to talk about is Border, and this is an interesting one. There's something I've started doing recently, which you see in like Comp and Pro League and stuff. Is just holding this area. You don't see it in rank very often, but holding down office mute's a really good way to do it. You can put a mute jammer like here, you can put a mute jammer here, and it completely blocks off the office door. Then you can put a mute jammer under the window, and you can reinforce this wall and the 3 triple walls, and you've pretty much got your play here. You've pretty much got office locked down. You can open the hatch for a quick getaway. Mad how I've just started talking about mute, even though we're talking about Fenrir, but you can also open a nice line of sight here to hold anyone jumping in the window downstairs, which you'll find a lot of people just running there because they think it's safe because no one ever plays Tower, so a nice little angle there. But it's a really, really solid place to hold down. Now, what we're going to do is also do the same with Fenrir. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can play Border. I personally like holding this and stopping the push on East, which is becoming even more popular recently. Yes, we can go and put a Fenrir over on this area, and if you do put it on the light, because it'll look down and it'll cover this whole area when they walk in, and when they do walk in, unless they're looking up and see it, they're going to come in and look for the door again. Or you can tuck it up right underneath the vent there. The only problem with that is, as soon as when they walk through the door, it'll go off. But as soon as they get to like there, the line of sight will stop. So you've got to make sure you're quick with that. But I like stopping the push East. So what I'll do is put a Fenrir in this gap here. Put one in this gap here. And then we've got 3 left, and I'll put 1, and this is dead basic, and I've said let's not do this, but put 1 above the door there, put 1 under the window there. And what I'll do, this is reinforced. As I say, that's reinforced, that's reinforced, that's reinforced, and that's reinforced. I'm just going to play here and just wait. And wait for this to go off, and if it does go off, then we swing. And you can put... We still got 1 in a pocket as well, but what I'll also do is, you don't see this very often, but make a rotate here. And then if you need to, you can get in and try and fight on east without having to come through this door, which can be blocked from someone stood here. At least you've got a way back in and out the site there. You can put a rotate here, but I don't recommend that because they can just hold from the window pretty much through the site. As you put it here. Also, if they do end up coming through here and planting, this rotate is good to help your team in another way. Because if they do make a breach here and people come and plant behind the bomb like this wall's still soft, so you can deny anyone planting behind the bomb. But just honestly, try out holding office. It can be difficult if like 2 or 3 people are pushing, but where are they going to push from? Like, yes, they can open this wall, but I'm still behind this that's reinforced. As soon as they get here, this is going to go off. And if they... Oh, my hatch there. And as soon as they jump through the window, it's going to go off. So what do they do? It's a really, really strong place to hold. Yes, depending... And I'm really sorry for saying, oh, well, depending what elo you're in, as if I'm, like, looking down on lower elos. I'm not. It's just lower elos play the game differently. Lower elos, the push is almost always going to come from this side. In which case, you probably want to defend here a little bit more. If you're playing, like, gold, plat above... then the east take is becoming ever more popular with like a Glass, a Ying, a Monty to come and just plant on the door here. And by the way, if you ever do that strat, the amount of times I see people playing Monty come and like plant here on the door and then want to get away. You're planting on the tiniest little bit of soft floor. Plant here instead where you're almost safe. And what's going to happen is people are going to throw C4s over here to try at the door to try and kill you at the door. No one's throwing a C4 here, and plus it's miles safer because the floor's solid. Anyway, that's that rant over with. The beauty of these two, by the way, is whenever someone comes through here, this one's going to go off. And if they jump through the window, this one's going to go off. That's why we put the 2 on an angle like that. If you imagine the area these cover, like down there, and then also down there and down there, pretty much every angle covered. No one can get anywhere without one of these being activated. And then, yeah, in the meantime, you're over here holding down office, and if you need to, you can nip back across and do some damage. I really like it. You've got 1 spare Fenrir, so if you want to help the team, stick it over on here as well. The only thing is, with this setup, like, put that up there. That was a rubbish throw. I really wanted that to go like there. The only thing with this setup is, and it's a bit like some of the other setups I do for Border, it can be not utilized. If you've only got 1 FNAT over there and their whole push comes from that side, these are a little bit wasted, really. But that's the beauty of Fenrir, right? We go, all right, well, we don't want that one on, we want this one on. That's the beauty of him. I really like doing that on Border. Let me know how you get on. So there we have it. There's 5 setups that I like to use with Fenrir. Look, he's incredible. You've got to be taking him in at almost every defensive lineup. Like, even if you just put the traps or the Fenrir mines, whatever you want to call them, just on the doorways, like I said, if you don't want to get creative with it, they're still incredibly powerful and they're still incredibly annoying for attackers. So there's no excuse. He's got a class gun as well and a Bailey. Play Fenrir more. If you've watched the video for 10 seconds, thank you. If you've watched it for 10 minutes, thank you. If you've watched it 10 times, massive thank you. But I appreciate it, man. This channel is nothing without you. Yes, you that watches the video. I might make the videos, but what's the point if nobody's watching them? So a massive thank you to everyone who's watched it. Other than that, I'll catch you next time. Cheers.